Good evening, everybody, and I am happy to say that after a short summer hiatus, the Giddy Cast is back once again. I'm Nick Bell. You might notice I'm not Matt Harrison. Matt Harrison is once again wandering northern Spain. He even took in a large part of Portugal this time too. He's doing the Camino front to back, and he's going to be missing for the next couple of weeks. However, the good news is Nick Bell is here to host, and I'm joined by two of my wonderful colleagues who have been enjoying very good summers, I suppose. A lot to celebrate from both of you. So, first of all, I'll come to you, Alex Ashmore. Welcome back to the Gimme Cast.
Thank you. It's good to be
Or
back.
should we change the name to another Spanish club?
I was going to say it'll be soon to be Senor Ashmore, no? Or Senor Ashmore.
No, it's good to be back. I'm, as ever, as a football fan, looking forward to this season, but
I bet you're looking forward to it, to the season.
trying to keep my optimism levels for Malaga up, although it gets harder and harder with every piece of news that comes out.
Alex, stop. Because you did something which was really, really nice. That was finish your university at Exeter. Congratulations for that. That's quite an achievement.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And French was something particularly awesome because you can tell it yourself.
Yeah, well, so graduated from uni this summer. I did French and Spanish and got a distinction in my spoken French, which is quite nice. But yeah, happy with both results in French and Spanish.
But that's not all. Alex Ashmore didn't stop there because he's going to do a master.
I am, yes. Going to do a master's in sports journalism and communications at the Escuela Universitaria Real Madrid. So,
do you know how people applied, Alex?
I don't, but usually every year there's about 20 people on the course.
But I imagine a lot more have applied than 20.
Yeah, I imagine
being a club like Real Madrid.
I imagine they try and keep the course fairly small. Because it's I guess quite it's an amazing course and an amazing opportunity. And well, now we've got a base in Madrid for when Real Madrid B and Atletico Madrid B host Malaga during this season. Not quite as exciting as Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid, but it'll do for now.
It'll get there. So are you going into like an international cohort of students for this, or are you going in with the natives?
No, so this course is in English, and there's no Spaniards on the course. But I'll be working with Spaniards. Alex Kirkland on the TSFP, he's one of my teachers.
That's quality.
Looking forward to learning under him, and we get loads of experiences. Trip to FIFA headquarters. Work experience. No, it's a wonderful opportunity, and I'm very excited for it.
See, is
Alex Kirkland going to be your teacher?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I was 10 years younger. If only. And if I spoke Spanish, that will also be a thing. But I am still learning. So
you're becoming a pretty TSV as the Spanish football podcast. I don't know, fanboy, groupie.
I like it too. Yeah, I'm very much enjoying it at the minute, and I've obviously got my prizes from Sid Lowe and Phil there, and I've got my mug as well, and yeah, I quite like it. I'm a Patreon subscriber and everything. So
who's your favorite one?
Oh, well, I can't look past Phil Kitro, can I? He's the most beautiful man in the world. So, but no, I enjoy it when you spend as much time in the car as I do. Just shows like that, the Patreon, a few of the others, especially Spanish football content and football ramble, people like that. They just get you through, the 3-hour drive that you have here and there as well. But obviously, very exciting news for Alex Ashmore and a lot more to look forward to.
It is a great show.
Chris Marquez, I can't help but notice something. You're usually broadcasting from your room in the Netherlands with those beautiful Malaga shirts in the background, that office you designed. your surroundings are a little bit different now. Has there been any major changes to your environment recently? It looks a bit sunnier there than usual.
Yes, we have moved finally to Spain, and not anywhere. We moved to the Costa del Sol. Benalmádena Pueblo is the new headquarters of the GiriCast. I brought the shirts. I just can't put them on the wall yet because I rented the place for 11 months. But in 11 months, everywhere at the whole headquarters will finally take its place again in a new house.
And it'll be up and ready. And I hear that you say that there's always a room for a wandering Giri if they need it as well, Chris. That's what I'm told anyway. I don't know
Sure.
if your wife agrees with that, but I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
test this in the coming months.
Well, I walk around naked.
I don't think that'll deter
So,
most of people.
If that's not a problem.
Yeah, Carl Smith will still be there, so don't worry about it.
If you see a little snake crawling around the ground, if you see a little snake crawling around on the ground, that's my third leg.
Well, anyway, so
No, I'm joking.
Happening for everybody. Alex Ashmore with a big future. Chris Marquez with an exciting move. Matt doing the Camino all over again, and then Nick Bell. I've got no exciting news.
Shall we start off right again? Yeah, nice kid. Shall I? What do you want to talk about your kid?
It's not.
Tell us. Yeah, we can see it, but the listeners can't.
If you want, like, see some of the beautiful shirts inside here. This one being a fan favorite. Quite nice as well.
Now you're bragging off.
Your lovely Spain kits in there as well. So yeah, that's my exciting news anyway. That's as good as it gets for a 32-year-old in Blackpool at the minute. But I just need football back. And
Shall I start off with something I'm not allowed to do?
Which is what?
Okay, so as you can see, I'm not at home. I'm on a little terrace. What Sport Direct Radio doesn't want us to do, and we're not allowed to do, is make publicity for any kind of beer, any kind of restaurant, it doesn't matter what.
I think we've already broken that rule.
only if they pay Sport Direct Radio. But today is different, and I'm feeling new season, fresh start. We're back at Sport Direct Radio. Let's fuck it up already again. So, I'm at Bar La Parada in Benalmádena Pueblo, a really nice little place where you can have a nice cold beer. They have that's screwed. They have Victoria beer, and it's a nice place. So if you're ever in the area, just visit Bar La Parada at Benalmádena. It's just next to the supermarket, a little bit further, and it's in the same street as the bus stop. So if you get out the bus or out of the taxi, because they're both next to each other, arriving to the Pueblo, just walk a little bit down, straight ahead, and you will find it at your right-hand side or left-hand side, depends on which side of the bar you're walking.
Absolutely. Sounds like anywhere with Victoria Malaga on tap is well worth a visit, and that may be something I do this coming Sunday as I head over for my stint on the Costa del Sol as well, though it's not going to be as permanent or as long as a couple of other guys as well. So after all that exciting news, obviously the most exciting is that Malaga are back in pre-season. Now we've had 2 games so far. I don't know if either of you have caught these, but obviously they're all being streamed on YouTube at the minute through the club and through Malaga 101 TV.
That's great. I don't think they like. I think Sport Direct will like my thing better than yours.
Well, I'm just saying where you can find them, just in case.
Yeah.
I watched the.
Nick, we're not allowed to announce. We're not allowed to mention. Well, if it's news related, but not to make publicity for another.
It was news related. It's kind of news. I'm just saying the news where you can find it. You know what? It'll be fine. You can catch it on the link for the clubs as well. Or I think Almeria even had it on their Twitch stream, which is very 2023 for me. We're just about handling with StreamYard here. But I took the time out to watch the Malaga Marbella game. A nice 0-0 to start pre-season on. And I didn't catch the Malaga Almeria game. Did either of you?
Yes.
Yeah, any good?
I think the second half was better. And we scored an amazing goal. Well, an amazing goal. It's a goal. We won. And it doesn't say much. I said it in our Telegram group, which if you're not in our Telegram group yet, I think you should definitely join, because all the nonsense we talk here, we have like a 7-day every week going on in there, which is the same nonsense, better, with a lot of listeners. It's a great community. And
I think it's got even more nonsense in it than here, because there's all sorts that gets discussed in that group.
Yes.
I think recently we've had a lot of GAA news. There was also big discussions around Michael Jackson recently as well. But
yes, ABBA.
ABBA as well.
Yeah.
Plenty of of opinions being thrown in there.
Luke going to the mini disco every night during his stay at Tenerife.
The mini disco.
Yeah.
But it's good to see.
You know what comes from mini disco, Nick? Babies come from mini disco.
Well, he may want to be careful what he's doing at the mini disco, but it is his honeymoon, so we'll let him off. Anyway, those preseason games lead us quite nicely into essentially what we're going to call the squad review, especially kind of going through who we've signed, who's left. So I maybe start with the latter. Obviously, there was a lot of discussions that we've spoken about previously about Escassi potentially staying, what's happened to Luis Munoz. Ruben Castro still seems to be without a club. So from this squad that we had last year, Alex, in terms of the players that have left, are there any that you really thought we should have fought for more to convince them to stay, to be part of the project, or were they to be expected?
I think to be expected. I think as much as I like the idea of fighting for a player to stay, if the player's heart and head is not 100% in it, I preferably don't really want them part of the squad. Even if they are a fantastic player, I think it's obviously there's some players that we're going to miss. I feel like Luis Munoz and some others. I could go on for a few more names, but yeah, I think like the news that came out today about Alex Calvo and Christian. Obviously, if they do go, they will be missed. But I think you made a good point about that's a decent amount of money, 50% sell-on fee if he does get sold for bigger money. I think we're not really in a position to convince players to stay, or even I guess demand that they stay. Not demand, but sort of try and persuade them to stay, because we've just been relegated. Dare I say it, the club's probably in its worst it's ever been as Malaga CF, before obviously CD Malaga. But yes, I think to be expected. I think there's not much we can do about it, really.
No, absolutely. So just to rattle off a few names here, exits for Ruben Yanez, Manolo Reina, Javier Delmas, Jonas Romalo, Unai Bustinza, Esteban Burgos, Javi Jimenez, Alberto Escassi, Luis Munoz, Alex Gaia, Pablo Taveria, Ruben Castro, Fran Sol, anyone else? Alex Febas as well, he's gone. Alfred Ndeye. It's a big exodus, really, Chris, isn't it? It's to be expected, as Alex said, but from your perspective, any of those, should we have fought for them more, or should we have convinced them in the project, or even shown that really we could have kept them if we are the club that we are?
I understand that the club wanted to keep a few of them, like the names of Ruben Yanez, Ruben Castro, and Lago Jr. I understand that all three of them decided not to stay, but there's one special case which I think the player should have done better, or should have kept his mouth shut when he was asked about it. And that's the case of Lago Jr. He said he wanted to stay. The money wasn't important, or football, that he wanted to stay because he loved the city, he loved the club, and he never he didn't want to leave, but that the decision wasn't in his hands. And then when the club says we are going to try to keep Lago Junior and the other two players, and Lago Junior leaves for Santander, Racing Santander, then I think you should have kept your mouth shut and shouldn't have said anything. The other thing I don't really understand is why you keep Renato and you let Escassi go. Because Renato didn't prove anything to you last season. And Escassi did prove something to you last season. And Escassi didn't want to leave.
I think a lot of people thought the same thing on that front, but I think it just literally comes down to the economics of it. Alberto Escassi was out of contract and Gennaro wasn't, and I think that's literally the decision that's been made. It was tougher to find a newer club for Gennaro rather than fight to keep Escassi. And obviously, Escassi has joined Javi Jimenez over at Ibiza, so it wasn't even a matter of him getting a move back into Segunda. It was he's very much going to be on the opposite team next season as Ibiza in the same group as Malaga. So yeah, I agree. It's a strange one, but it seems that Pellicer has started to build his team, started to work on it a little bit more. We've seen more of the youth team being brought in, the likes of Musa and Andres Caro, working back there. Kevin is back, David La Rubia is back, Dani Lorenzo is back. Those three that have come back in from loan. Alex, do you think they can hit the ground running this season? Is it time for them to prove their worth, or are we rolling the dice a little bit?
I think they're obviously young, they're obviously talented, but I do think they will get knocked about a little bit at this level. I know there are some players that will, be playing at this level and think, "Oh, these guys are young'uns. They think they're the bee's knees. Let me, whack them with a 2-footed challenge in the first 5 minutes and see how they like that." So, there's a lot of growing up for them to do. And, there's probably going to be a few injuries in those first few weeks of the season. But, I think the more they get adapted to it, hopefully they'll get used to that level of physicality. I'm not saying it's going to be really physical like League One or League Two, but, I think, they are that young that they're going to struggle initially. But they are talented players. So hopefully that talent can shine through as the season goes on.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to seeing David La Rubia play. He had a great season by all accounts with Merida in this league. I think Dan Lorenzo's proven himself to be a quality footballer anyway.
I think you really want to watch the one to watch this season. No, definitely not. The one to watch
that was the expert.
will be Dani Lorenzo.
Yeah,
he had such a great season last season at Merida that he will be bonkers.
I think you're absolutely right. Between the two of those central midfield options, partnered with, maybe
Ramon
is still here once he's over his injury. We've got Gennaro, obviously, if we can kind of get him back to the form he wants to be. But even looking at, Sangali, who's come in, he could be a great operator in there. So I think there's plenty of talent to go around from the young lads that come back in. For you, Chris, is Kevin still got a lot to prove for you? I know in Matt's eyes, it's the second coming of the beloved. But for you, is it very much let's see what he does, but I expect him to maybe not be as great as we all think he is.
I'm going to be honest with you. Everybody deserves a second opportunity, Kevin as well. But he really has to prove it. I'm not saying I'm looking forward to Kevin. I'm rather saying prove it to me.
Yeah, and he's got.
And I think that's where everybody, I won't say fails, or everybody seems to forget the horrible season he had. He had 2 great matches, and after that it was horrible, and all the things outside of football were horrible as well. So I've heard from someone, from an insider, that he has been training the whole summer and he's really focused on this season. So that's great. I can only hope he will be a great player.
Yeah, well, you can't say fairer than that, really. If he's going to apply himself, we could end up with a really good player in there. Just to complement, obviously, the people that we brought in. So again, just to rattle off some names, we brought in Dione from Atletico Baleares, Alfonso Herrero, Joaquin Gabilondo, Luca Sangali, Einar Galilia, and I'm just trying to think if there's somebody else I've forgotten there. Juanpi or Juan. I got called out on this on Twitter actually because I didn't know how to say it. Is it Juanpi or Juanpe?
Juanpe.
Juanpe. Right, I've got
Juanpi left a few seasons ago.
He did. Apparently on the move to Saudi Arabia as well, though. So again, we're looking at potentially getting some money from him. All these sell-on fees that we're working with are really starting to pay off in the long term, aren't they? But so Juanpe as well, and maybe joined by a couple of others we'll discuss later. But on the business so far, Alex, do you think for this level, Malaga have been signing, good quality? And none of us can claim to say we've seen any of these players before. So let's not, let's cut the bull. Everyone's an unknown quantity. We don't know what we're up against. But from what we've seen so far and what we've heard, are we impressed?
Yeah, I mean, a few of them, I think, have got experience at Segunda, which I know is a different league, but it's a level above. So they've obviously got some quality. Generally have more faith in the way the signings have gone this season because we've got a new, obviously maybe faith is the wrong word, but I'm less pessimistic about the signings than I was, say, when Manolo Gaspar was in charge. I think you can't really say too much until you're, October time and you've seen them play a good few games. It would be unfair of me to judge them negatively or positively before then, I think.
Yeah, Alex makes a very good point there, Chris. I'll ask for your opinion on the new signings as well. But in terms of the way that the new sporting director, Loren, has gone about his business and the way he's acted, have you been impressed with him since he's come into the La Rosaleda?
I think it's too early to say. I like what the things he's saying. But once again, we are back at signings from Promo Sport, and that is something I don't understand. Last season, everyone in Malaga spoke about it, that all the signings came from the same company. I don't know. Is it worrying that again Promo Sport is leading the Malaga signings? That means, in my opinion, that you're not scouting further than Promo Sport.
Which might be the case considering the redundancies that have been made, especially in the scouting department. So maybe we're relying on an outside source to do that for us. But yeah, I think I agree with both of you. It's too early to obviously see what this team's going to be like. But I think I like what I hear from both Loren and Pellicer, the way that they're talking, the way that they're acting. They're not being reactive. They're thinking very thoughtfully about how they're going to do things. And it sounds like he's building a pretty decent squad. I'm really looking forward to seeing Dione at this level. Obviously he's a proven goal scorer. He's a born Malaguista as well, so a homecoming for him.
The question I have one question about that.
Go on.
Isn't Dione the new Ruben Castro? That's the question I have.
Potentially, but I have more faith in Pellicer to play to Dione's strengths than I do in Pablo Guede and Pepe Mel to play to Ruben Castro's strengths. I think, with the signing of Joaquin, with, Victor Almo back in the fold, this potential signing of Zé Ricardo, I think, they know how to get the ball into the box. And dare I say, Pellicer preferred to play with Chavarria as a target man. And Dione maybe fits more into that Chavarria mould than the Castro mould, in my opinion. So I'm quite excited to see if we can get him scoring. And if you get a goal scorer at this level, whether it's in the English Football League, whether it's in the Spanish leagues, whether it's in Italy, if you're scoring goals and you're keeping people out, then you're going to be up there at the end of the season, which is, the main objective. Obviously, the news today that has come out surrounding both Alex Calvo and Christian, I want to say, isn't really surprising. I think the Christian one has been in the works for a while, but the Alex Calvo one has definitely come out of nowhere. But the money on offer here is incredible. So I reported €500,000 from Eibar for Christian with a 50% sell-on clause, which is just madness. But obviously, it's a great way of Malaga doing business.
I have a question about that because Christian, I do understand, like really. That kid has been phenomenal last season. He can play easily in Segunda. and he can even, in my opinion, play in Primera División. So from his point of view, I can understand that he would not continue at Malaga because he is way too good at his age for Primera RF. But Alex Calvo didn't prove anything to me last season. He had one match where he scored a fantastic goal. In my opinion, even the best goal of the season. But for the rest, didn't prove a thing yet in professional football. If I was him at his age, I would have stayed at Malaga because look at Dani Lorenzo. Look at, I don't know, who else? Who got better in Primera RF as well? La Rubia.
Rubia, people like that. I agree with you to an extent. I think, to be fair, the lure, let's call it spade a spade, it's the money. At the end of the day, he's going to earn 10.
Yeah, I understand. But what is money? Do you guys remember Royston Drenthe, who went from Feyenoord to Madrid?
Yeah.
Scored one amazing goal in his first match. Benched. End of career.
He could have grown and he could have had a more exciting season with Malaga this year in Primera, don't get me wrong. But I think for the money that's being offered, 1.5 million.
Yes,
euro,
but let's yes, I understand from the club's point of view. But you have, as a player, if you don't want to go, you don't want to go.
So he wants to go.
Yeah,
I think
but I don't understand why. Because do you think they will play him? He walks around the pitch like a young puppy.
I suppose
that still has to go to.
Yeah,
that still has to go to puppy training.
Yeah,
it's his potential, but he won't get much playtime.
See,
not as much as Malaga lost. Yeah, Malaga had no other options rather than bring him. Why? Because the rest they had were failing.
There's no doubt about it this season he would have played the majority of games for Malaga. I think going to a club like Andorra with A, the finances that they've got, and B, the manager that they've got, his name eludes me at the minute, so apologies, but the way they play football, I think that's a good project for him, if I'm being honest. I think that's a club where he'd fit in quite well. And again, it's a springboard potentially to go elsewhere. I'm not saying he's going to end up at Barcelona.
I don't agree with you because Andorra, the way they play, is well organized. Everybody does his task. They don't make any mistakes. They don't walk around like crazy puppies on the pitch.
No, but if you can control Alex Calvo doing that and give him the tools to be able to do that, he's a great passer of the ball. He's a quick thinker. He can probably quite easily fit into that kind of football. Tiki-taka, is the way forward. So, Alex, what do you think in terms of the Calvo thing? First of all, money-wise, is it a great fee for Malaga to get? Hopefully some of that gets reinvested back into the squad. But, from his future prospects, it would have been great for him to be at Malaga. But is Andorra, an exciting move for him?
I think, obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of it and whether, he's getting, I imagine he's getting paid more at Andorra, but
10 times more. Which to be fair, he's probably only getting paid something like €100 a game at Malaga, so he's probably maybe getting £1,000.
Yeah.
Yes, but if you're his age and you're going to a professional football club where you're not sure that you're going to play every week and make the progression you would make at your age at Malaga, and being a Spanish under 19, I believe, player.
Yeah, 19, yeah. I don't know.
Would you take the risk? Would you take the risk in earning now 4 times more money and have the possibility that you won't play much and you will become, I'm sorry, Alex, the new Jack Harper? With all respect. But Jack Harper went. No, but Jack Harper. Let's be honest. Jack Harper left Malaga because he could go to Getafe, and he didn't get playtime. His career ended basically, and never came back. I mean, a player like Jack Harper shouldn't be playing at the level he's playing now at his age, coming from professional football. He's thrown away his career, just like Royston Drenthe did. That's a possibility for him as well. So why earn 4 times more money now if you can earn 20 times more money in 3 years?
I see the risk that you're highlighting, and it's a very probable risk. Also, there's another side to the coin. There's the opportunity. If he does play, gets better recognition, probably playing in Segunda, and obviously it's a higher level. Even if he doesn't get selected, maybe Andorra will loan him out. If he plays well on loan, or he doesn't play well on loan, at least he's going back to a Segunda club. He doesn't know whether Malaga are going to get promoted, whether they're going to stagnate and stay in Primera. I think if you look at it, I understand the risk, but if you look at it from the other side, the potential opportunity of playing in Segunda, getting noticed by bigger teams, if he does play well, and I know he's capable of it, then the results and the reward of that could be tenfold.
But for your career, what's more safer? Stay at Malaga with Pellicer, or go to a new club at that age?
I think it's right what Alex says. He's still got opportunity.
What would be the safe choice?
I get what you're saying, but I don't think Malaga is necessarily the safe choice, because if he spends a year, and again, who knows? We saw him for 9 games. He scored 1 goal. He might not even break into the Malaga side this year. Realistically, he could fade into non-existence and then could be, forgotten about. So, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, really. I think from the club perspective, to get 1.5 million for him is just an insane amount of money for a player who hasn't really shown himself to be that valuable player. But he's, for over £1 million, there's people that are established.
The question is,
that kind of money.
Who are you getting back for it? Because Alex Calvo is a big talent. He would do great in Primera FF. Who are you signing back? And that's the thing that worries me.
Kevin. You've got Kevin, Chris. It's fine.
Thank you all for watching, listening. I don't know what you're doing. This was the GearyCast. Last episode of the season. We'll be back next season with the new season when Kevin is gone. And then...
it is an interesting point, and you would hope in the fact that I think there was some confusion about this on the Telegram group and on Twitter as well. Laurent has obviously said previously that any of the money that was coming in from the sell-on fees of likes of Juanpi and Ricardo Horta and the Ontiveros money wasn't being counted on for this summer transfer window because it wasn't forecast for. They didn't know whether they were going to get it or not. But if you are receiving, Malaga have made €2 million today. That's a massive amount of money for this level.
But listen, you're in Primera FF, for God's sake. You have to come out there as quickly as possible and get back to professional football where you belong. Although I have to say that non-league football, we're still have doubts on whether we are non-league or league.
Who knows? I think the league is non-league technically.
We still have doubts.
Malaga is a professional football club still, so it's up in the air. But I don't know what the answer is. Obviously, we can't count on those two. I think I said it in the Telegram group as well. Is that if you don't want to be here, it's going to be a long season if you don't want to be here.
Yeah,
you're not going to play
I agree. And if you want to leave, you have to let them go because they will have a bad influence on the rest of the team and will not play well for you.
No, exactly. It sounds like the replacement for Christian is just about to be announced. We put it onto our Twitters, but Zé Ricardo or Zeriberto, as Chris texted me this afternoon. I was like, what? 1998 World Cup winner Zeriberto is coming out of retirement to play for Malaga. That's quality. and I was searching for ages to find the right Zé Roberto. He went, "Oh no, it's Zé Ricardo."
It was so warm today, and I had a long day at work. I just started a new job 3 days ago, and while I'm on the road, catching metros, catching trains, I don't really have the time during the day to read everything. And of course, we do get our news from our own sources. We get news from other media, but we also have Sport Direct Radio behind us, which have a big group chat where a lot happens, where we can talk about. But there are also things we can talk about, and that was Sergio Ricardo, and he popped up, and we were allowed to post it after a certain time, and we did. But being in the traffic, being warm, worked all day, I think I did read what I wanted to read. I wanted the 1998 Sergio Roberto to come to Malaga.
Yeah.
But it seems like we.
1998 one, to be fair, because I don't know if I've got that right. To be honest, that was just what I picked off the top of my head. But
Yeah.
I'm sure if Harrison here, he would correct me. So please feel
Do you
free.
think he listens?
Right. I don't know. I've doubted myself now to think that he had quite a long career. To be fair, so I don't know if he. And obviously, as well, let's not forget they didn't win the World Cup in 1998. It was France that won the World Cup in 1998. It was 2002, I should say, that Brazil won the World Cup. So we're a little bit rusty up here in Blackpool on the knowledge. We'll get back into it, but yes, it sounds like the replacement for Christian is shortly arriving through the doors. Zé Ricardo from Lugo. Again, let's not all pretend that we know who he is. A quick Wikipedia search showed he was in the youth setup at Rayo Vallecano. He spent some time in Portugal recently in their leagues and signed for Lugo last year. Played, I think it was 30 times last year for them. So obviously a decent starter for them. He's coming in to replace Christian. That's now 2 left backs we've got. And then maybe in the hunt for Calvo, there's also rumours of Juan Hernandez, who could be signing from Burgos, or he's left Burgos on a free. So again, 2 million in the bank, but 2 players arriving for nothing. Doesn't fill you with faith necessarily, but again, potentially good players for this level, Alex.
Yeah.
Recio going to Cordoba.
Recio did go to Cordoba, after his come and get me plea.
We could have signed Jack Harper, but he left to. No, that's a joke. Do you really think, Alex? One question. It's burning in my head the whole week. Do you think Jack Harper could bring something to Malaga this season?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think having seen him.
How did you get in? How did you get in? Do you have to know anything about football to get into the Real Madrid Masters Academy, Escuela de Europa? I don't know what they call themselves.
To be fair to Jack Harper, he got a mention on the Spanish Football Podcast Patreon today because Phil and Sid have gone on holiday to the same place, as they revealed. And he said he was going to go and watch. Is it Hercules? Alex, because that's local to where they've gone. But then he realised Jack Harper was no longer there, and that he'd signed for Marbella, so they were a bit upset by that. So Jack Harper, he does extend, the footballing world. He's still a big
because
name.
he's one of the few British players in Spain,
and that's a beautiful thing. Him and Jude Bellingham could have been best mates. In that, I don't know if any other British players are not. Appiah as well, wherever he might end up after leaving.
First
Almeria.
English Malaga player.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think if there's any more as well. Probably not. Harry Kane might arrive. You never know. But yeah, that's quite a good question, Alex. Why didn't we look at Jack Harper? If he's everything he's cracked up to be, and it could have been a good homecoming story, why has he not come to Malaga?
He's not represented by that sports manager.
No, Alex, no. No.
That's why.
You have to really be honest. Okay. Real Madrid is watching this episode.
To be honest,
they can still get you off that list.
To be honest, I don't know how much he's earning at Getafe, and I don't know whether that's something that we could afford at this moment. I imagine he's not earning like I imagine he's not earning the likes of La Liga salaries, but you still have to pay that salary, and it's a fair amount if you're playing for Getafe. I know he doesn't play, but he's at the club, he's on their books. I also think he's had a lot of injuries over the last few seasons. He hasn't had the luck on that side of things, so he hasn't had a run of games to prove himself. Where he has, he's scored a few goals playing for Racing last season, 2 seasons ago. Had a decent year at Hercules before he got injured in February. But having spoken to him this summer, and he's raring to go, and I hope and I reckon he will do very well for Marbella this season.
Fingers crossed for Jack Harper and his one-man fan club. Well, two-man fan club, because you and Sid Lowe both big fans of him. So yes. Moving quickly away from Jack Harper updates, another update from an injured player. Haitam has announced on Instagram this afternoon that he is fully fit and raring to go for the new season. Obviously, he came onto the side of the Pepe Mel last season, played very well for 3 or 4 games in a row, looked very exciting, and then got injured. Chris, is Hamilton coming back a good news for Malaga, or dare I say we won't be risking another?
No, Haitam being back is very good news for Malaga because he's such a great player. The only thing is, the doctor declared him recovered from his injury, but I don't think we have to expect him for the upcoming 3 weeks, 4 weeks, because they will bring him very slowly. He will not train directly with the team. He will first do some gym time. So don't expect him soon.
We're only just over 4 weeks out from the first game away to Castellon as well. So plenty of time for him to get up to speed in pre-season. Obviously, there is a couple more games to go in pre-season as well, but we'll cover that towards the end. Moving very quickly through, 10,000 season tickets sold at La Rosa later this year. Obviously, it was a huge...
But that numbers are not correct, because it's 10,000 known by the club, but there are a lot more sold by the Peñas. And those numbers didn't have the club doesn't have those numbers yet, but they will come. So it's over 10,000. It could be 12,000. It could be 13,000. Malaga is having crazy numbers for Primera RFF, and the city and the Malaguistas are really backing the team this season.
Yeah, because it was 14,000 season tickets sold last season, wasn't it? With the Peñas and the Fondo Sur and people like that, and obviously the normal ticket sales, we may even surpass it. Who knows? It'll be quite interesting to get the final figures on that. We know that a couple of loyal Gilly Army members have already got theirs sorted and settled, which is always great, fantastic news. So sticking with the club as well, the new kits were released a couple of weeks ago. We've not had a massive chance to talk about it on here because it's the first episode back, but fair to say, I think, dare I say, we were impressed with what we saw.
I like 2 of them.
Chris Marquez broke the news of the home shirt to the world after Paul shared that screenshot with us. But yeah, what are we thinking, Alex? I'll come to you first with the home, away, and the third kit. What are your thoughts?
Do we officially know what's the second kit? Let's start with that.
I assume it's going to be the blue and green one, isn't it? Sorry, the purple and green one.
Yeah, I think that's definitely been confirmed as the purple and green kit is the away kit officially, and that the pink and green and yellow one.
That one is horrible.
The third kit has third kit vibes written all over it.
Yeah, that strikes me. What have you got left?
Yeah,
that we can put our third kit on.
Yeah. We got this goalkeeper kit that we used a few years ago. You can have that.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, that green, or even green and pink, and 2 shades of green, it's just ugly. It makes me want to puke.
It makes no sense as well for me, because I'll go for a moment. So the home kit for me, again, makes sense. Obviously,
it's a beauty.
the
It's a
wave
beauty.
patterns on the club social media. There's that relation to the sea and Malaga being by the Mediterranean, so it makes sense. The collar, I've got my lovely Spain collar. Love a collar on a football shirt, so that goes down very, very well. The away kit speaks for itself. We've been screaming for a kit which is purple and green in that classic 1980s Denmark design as well. Fits absolutely beautifully. The white lettering, the white badge, perfection for me. And then this third kit. First of all, the fact that it's in the same style as the away kit makes no sense to me. A third kit should always be something completely different. It's the exact same kit design, which actually takes a lot of shine off the away kit for me. The greens, the yellows, and the pinks. Where does that come from? What does it mean?
I think they looked, because Malaga was pretty late with the kits. Maybe they thought, okay, we did our kits for this season. Which colors didn't we use this season for any kit?
Chuck them all in
Let's
together.
use them for Malaga.
And that's it. And again, I would love to have had a different sort of like design pattern. If you look at the Hummel kits that are around, Las Palmas have got the black away kit with the island on, similar to last season's home shirt for us.
Oh, third kit last season of Southampton. A beauty.
Yeah, exactly. The third kits for likes of Coventry. Even Tenerife's third kit this year in the pink. Again, an all pink kit. Really quite nice, actually, with a nice little pattern side. So why couldn't it be something like that? I don't know. I'll definitely be buying the home and the away shirt, 100%. I'm going to try and get the away shirt when I'm in Malaga this Sunday. But the third
They're not
kit,
for sale yet, I believe.
well,
I think it's only the home kits who are for sale at the moment.
typical. Well, I'll get
They got out of stock already in the first week of selling them, even in a few days. And they just filled the stock up again, and there are now 300 shirts, I believe.
I best
Can I be brutally honest?
Brutal honesty from Mr. Ashmore. We await.
The home kit as a shirt on its own, it's all right. With the blue shorts and the blue socks, don't like it. The away kit, not really a fan. And the third kit, it's okay. I think it's like the idea of the purple and green, but they've done it so basic. Like
something I ask myself: does Alex say things?
I was going to say,
to have my blood cooking again.
You've had your summer break now, Chris. It's heart rate time is time to go up now.
You always seem to. Nick has that potential as well, by the way.
I'm just telling my honest opinion.
I wish Matt is back. Matt, please come back.
I don't know if this is right because I had to do a quick Google, but I think maybe Alex is vying with yourself, Chris, for the title of Senor Polímico.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Mr. Controversial? Yeah.
The thing is,
it's growing on me. And maybe I'll like it in a few months.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
I didn't like the away kit last season, and it grew on me big time. I think it's the best away kit Malaga ever had. The thing is, I'm imagining for the past month now, Matt walking and saying, I would walk 500 miles. And I would walk 500 more.
No, I think like I say, Hummel always for me. Hummel kits are beauties, to be fair. And when the Denmark design came out, you can see in Southampton, Werder Bremen, several other clubs have taken that on as well. I expected us to have a version of. I quite like the away shirt. I think it's beautiful. I think the pictures that they've put out don't do it justice. I think once you see it, Alex, and it's in your hands,
maybe
you've got your €75 ready to slap down on the desk. You'll be happy as Larry to grab that. But
last season, the press chief of Malaga asked me, "What do you think about the away kit?" And I said, "I don't know. I think I don't like it." And he said to me, "Chris, listen. You've only seen it on a picture. Wait till you see it, the real thing. You will love it. He said, I'm so excited about this kid. And he was right.
If it was one that grew on me, I don't think we played in it enough either, to be fair. I only recall seeing it maybe once or twice. We played in the black kit more than we played in the Roses shirt. So, yeah. Go figure. Hopefully this season we are every away game we represent the city of the colours of the city of Malaga, I should say, with those splendid kits. So finally, as we begin to wrap up, because to be fair, considering that there's no football matches on, we've managed to drag this out for nearly an hour. So well done, lads.
Really?
I appreciate it. Yeah, up to 50 minutes recording so far. So just to end on, the return of the most prestigious trophy in world football is this weekend. The Trofeo Costa del Sol is happening. Obviously, we've had famous winners in the past like Newcastle, Lazio, I think Juventus, if I remember rightly. This time, Malaga are going to be entertaining for the first time in pre-season at La Rosaleda Antequera.
Yes. I'm going to be honest with you. It's so freaking warm here. I'm not looking forward to it. I don't even think I'm going, to be honest. I watched on TV.
Is kickoff at 8:30?
9:30.
9:30.
9:30. It's a good time, but
That's good.
I just don't feel like watching Malaga Antequera now and then watch them again during the season.
Yeah, I think that's the shine taken off it a little bit. And I think maybe an opportunity missed as well, because let's call a spade a spade. There's plenty of big foreign clubs who come to the Costa del Sol to undertake warm weather training to get back under the pre-season. We played Hull City last year. PSV are always down at the Marbella Centre. So there was a chance to maybe get in a big club to get in some big gates, but Antequera doesn't for me. But a trophy
It is what it is.
And this is a big bloody trophy as well, let's not forget. I don't mean in world stature, that was tongue-in-cheek. It's physically a massive...
It's the biggest trophy I've ever seen.
It's huge. You could bathe in it. Even Alex could bathe in it. It's that big. Yeah. Just with his legs hanging out the other side. But so that's a 9:30 kickoff against Antequera this weekend. A good chance to see some of the new Malaga players together. Hopefully Pace deciding what his best 11 is going to be. And then I think that pretty much wraps up everything from our end, guys, unless you've got any more news to share, any major life achievements, or if we pretty much covered everything.
No, if you're not listening, if you're not in our Telegram group yet, it's a really nice place for you to meet other Malaga people, to spend some time with us while we're not on air. It's a really nice place. We really have a lot of fun. So join. I understand it might be scary to download Telegram or to join us and to speak to the actual Nick Bell. But join us. I promise you will have fun.
It's a good laugh in there. And we've got over 40 people in there now as well, which is quite the community that we're building. Yeah. So we'll end things there. So once again, Alex Ashmore, congratulations on your summer and achievements. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I can put the disappointment of the Ashes behind me now and concentrate on football.
Exactly.
You're moving out again. Do your parents remember that they have a kid or not?
I think they did. Yeah, just about. I mean, I'm living with my mum at the moment, so.
What when he rings up and says, "Dad, I need cash. Send me cash."
Yeah.
And it's not a cheap city. This.
How did they? How did they respond to you when you said, "Well, I'm going to Madrid"?
Well, so it was actually, funnily enough, it was my dad who gave me the idea in the first place.
Okay.
So he obviously, when I used to live out there, I used to live very near the university, and he must have had a look and found the course and sent me a link. So it was very much a joint operation in that ways. But told my mum about it, and well, they're both very happy. And
didn't your mom say, "Alex, you're leaving me again"?
No, she didn't. she didn't. But yeah, I'm sure she would have been. I'm sure she would have liked me to have me around for a bit longer. But she's now got an excuse to go to Spain.
Yeah, exactly. It's a nice story. And thank you again, Chris Marquez, live from Benamedina Pueblo for the first
Bar La
time.
Parada.
Again, congratulations on your move as well. Thank you for joining us this evening.
See you next week.
And yes, we shall. We'll see you next week. Well, I'll be in the Costa del Sol as well. It's a beautiful love story too. We may even meet up together, Chris. Let's do it together.
Yes, let's do it together, the GiriCast.
Yeah, so meet.
We can arrange that.
It'll be fine. Just get some last minute flights. It's all good. It'll be great.
I have a beautiful bar,
Studio.
which is called Bar La Parada at Malaga Pueblo. I'm getting in so much trouble tomorrow. It's okay for a first episode. So yeah.
Exactly. And thank you to everybody for listening at home. Remember, you can find all the latest news related to Malaga Club de Football over at the GiriCast on Twitter, or now what is known as X, Instagram. We've got Threads, which I don't think has been used since the day it's launched, Facebook, and you can catch the podcast in all the usual places such as Spotify, Google Pods, etc. So thank you very much. We'll see you next week, and vamos Malaga.